Welcome back, Kiss Army, to the Kiss Army Things podcast. This is episode number 14. My name's Jeb.
My name is Xander. Thanks everybody for joining us on another episode of Kiss Army Things. Just two Kiss fans cracking open a bottle of money-back soda discussing Kiss. In the last episode, we had a Vinnie Vincent discussion, talking about some current events. That was great. Be sure to, if you're new to the channel, you have 13 episodes before this you can watch. Check them out. Also, subscribe. Wow. We got episodes coming out every 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Like I said, in the last episode, it was all about Vinnie Vincent. Got to listen to the Vinnie Vincent Invasion debut album for the first time. Yes. We even talked about John 5's new album at the end. And it looks like you have received your bundle. Is that correct?
Yes, I have received the album. And for those who are not familiar, he's a famous, John 5 is a famous studio musician, worked with a ton of artists. And of course, the Kiss connection here is that Peter Criss featured on the last track of the album, which is, as we mentioned last time, very cool that we can get a Peter Criss on any recording, in 2021 is something to be excited about for, any diehard Kiss fan. And even if you're not into, like, the shreddy guitar that John 5 does, there's plenty of, eclectic material in there for everyone.
Yeah,
I'm a huge supporter. That's why, of course, I'm wearing the T-shirt and thing. But there is a Kiss connection, so someone doesn't get lost. But
yeah,
it's a great record.
Is that CD autographed?
Yes, this one.
Did that come autographed?
I bought this from his website. He had I think they're still available on john5.com for those interested. But I got the T-shirt, CD, Digipack bundle thing.
Yeah, the bundle
really good price.
The bundle is sold out, but it looks like the shirt and the CD individually are still there.
Still available, yes.
If anybody's interested. But yeah, definitely really cool to see Peter Criss on a track. And I think as far as John 5 goes, like, when I think about guitar players, there always seems to be like that one guitar player or those couple guitar players that seem to like reinvent the instrument every generation.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, like Eddie Van Halen being one of those guys. People like Steve Vai and all these like really amazing guitar players. I feel like John 5 is that for our generation. Where you listen to him play and it's like he plays the guitar in a way that others before him either haven't or just didn't.
Well, he takes from everything that came before too, and that's what's so cool is that he's very traditional in some areas, taking from pretty much every genre that you can think of.
Yeah.
Putting them into one, but also putting his spin on it. And that's what's so unique about him, is that he's doing all these old techniques, but he's not playing them in the same way and not to the same backing tracks or something like that. He's a very, very interesting and creative musician. And so I'm definitely a fan and super stoked to have a Peter Criss feature. Of course, he was on the Origins, the Ace record too.
Was he?
Yes, he was on the.
John 5, not
John
Peter
5.
Criss. Okay, for sure. No,
that would have been huge.
I was like, wait a minute.
We could have almost had a Kiss record there with Paul Stanley going on there.
I see what you mean now. So John 5 was with Ace on the Origins CD.
So I mean, it's cool to know that he's giving us some Peter Criss material that otherwise we wouldn't have gotten. And that's why I'm a fan anyway. But just that on top of it is like, as a Kiss fan and a fan of John 5, is like you cannot go wrong.
Yeah, before we filmed last time, I checked out the album on Spotify just to get a feel for it and listen to it, and there was a lot of cool stuff happening, lots of different songs and
very different stuff.
Well, I mean, there was like some like jazz, and there was also like some heavy stuff, some shredding, some great riffs, great solos. There was some even like some digital aspects. So, I mean, it wasn't just a one path. I mean, it had a lot of things.
Oh yeah, it takes
lots of
twists
things
and
to check out.
And
cool. Who else was on it? Peter Criss and
Dave Mustaine, of course.
Dave Mustaine.
Megadeth. He featured some vocals. I don't think he did any guitar work.
Okay.
He did some vocals, which is cool. I mean, it just seems like he's trying to get as many cool people on his album because he's a huge Kiss fan. He's a huge Megadeth fan. He's very much. Honestly, he's very much one of us in the way of being inspired by these people, and the fact that he can, get these people on his album is super cool.
Totally
cool for everyone involved.
Totally. Yeah. As far as Kiss Army things goes, the thing we wanted to talk about, at least starting off, is just almost like Kiss overload with all the merchandise that just got dropped.
Yes,
that's like in the last few weeks.
Yeah, kind of shocking.
Starting off with the Elder.
So
on November 10th, a bunch of Elder stuff dropped for the 40th anniversary.
That's correct.
And so what did you think about that?
Well, okay, I might have to backtrack here because I think it was just a day or two before that. It could have been a few days before that announcement.
Okay, yes.
I was bombarded with these articles and people mentioning Gene and Paul's comments of their, look back on the Elder,
I forgot about
which
that,
we've
that
heard
article.
1,000 times.
What was that?
We already know Gene and Paul
Do not
you
like
could almost
the
say
Elder.
they despise the record entirely.
They despise
don't
it.
have anything.
They said we sold
positive
6
to say.
copies.
Right. So, so I was aware that the anniversary was coming up because, I saw all these are Gene and Paul's, recall the Elder, recalling it was a failure, it was a delusional attempt at this and that, and then it just seemed like the day after or 2 days later, bam, Kiss announces official, Kiss the Elder 40th anniversary celebration, merchandise blowout or something.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I was really kind of taken aback to saying, well, okay, maybe Universal wanted to do something with the music. Maybe Gene and Paul had less of a hand. They're just not too concerned about it. But I feel like the timing was bad in that case, because it was really just, how can you expect us to be excited about this new Elder merchandise, thing when he just came off of saying all these negative things? And it looks like you have the, an article pulled up here of some quotes that are interesting.
Yeah, so I wanted to,
Elder.
because I totally forgot, I should have had this already pulled up, because you mentioned, as soon as you mentioned it, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, there was an article where I was reading it, and I was laughing at how rude they were being to themselves. But I get it.
Right.
I get it, because, it's two different, we'll get into it, it's two different perspectives. But anyway, so Paul Stanley and Gene were talking to Yahoo Entertainment. This was very recently, and the quote that kind of made me laugh was when Paul says, we couldn't make a rock album, we had no teeth, we were gumming at that point. But Gene even says, we were convinced that we were making our Sgt. Pepper, which I don't even know if that's even a thing that they actually thought back in the day. I think that's something that they're just adding in 40 years later, because, it is two different perspectives, where from their perspective, the album didn't sell very well critically, and the fans and critics did not like it. Yeah. It didn't sell. There was no tour. There was no movie.
Right. No.
So for them, it's definitely a sore spot. Whereas I feel like for fans,
what Gene should have said was this was going to be our The Wall, because it makes
that's
you
what
wonder.
they were kind of going for more. Than I think
getting Ezrin as a producer hot off The Wall, which was an unbelievable success for Pink Floyd. I feel like that would have been a more analogous comparison. But I almost feel like, I don't think they've ever admitted to, and it might not be the case, but I don't think they've ever directly said that they wanted to do something like that. Because the timing-wise, of course, The Wall came out late 79, early 1980. The timeline makes sense. Old Concepts albums, they're
it was becoming a thing for sure.
And, getting Bob Ezrin just kind of makes sense, but...
So, definitely odd that they would do that. But I wonder if maybe that was maybe planned that way? Where you have this article that gets put out there, and then fans start commenting on...
Getting people talking about it.
Get people talking about it, and all of a sudden, boom, it drops. Who knows how...
I think it's a bad tactic.
Who knows how strategic that was.
Well, if you're trying to sell something, that's different. If you want people to buy the Elder merch and have this, pretend like it's a really cool thing that we're doing here, and it is, by the way. The Elder merchandise is really cool. I'm totally into it. But it's just, because we've already heard Gene and Paul go over this, 1,000 times, and at this point, I wish they would just slow it down and take a step back, because it sounds like they're just trying to preemptively disavow the Elder, so that if ever they were to receive criticism, they're like, yeah, we don't even associate with that.
That's what
but
seems
in reality,
like to me.
There's some really, really good stuff on there. I think they even know it. It's just the fact that it was a commercial failure.
Gene admitted that I is a song that he likes on it, but Paul said that they were not great songs.
Yeah, Paul hated it because of what Ezrin did.
and it's funny to me because they played The Oath, which
is an amazing song.
World Without Heroes,
incredible
Only
song.
You,
awesome.
Maybe even Under the Rose. All of those.
All those songs are awesome to me.
At least in part on the Kiss Cruise over the years. And guess what?
True.
Those songs get the biggest reaction.
That's what people want to hear.
Yeah, and it's like, Paul's like, we're going to play the Elder, sorry guys. They're like, no, feed us.
So that's what we came to the cruise. I'm not saying people come to the cruise just for that, but I'm sure
that's a big part of it.
Plenty of people on the cruise would be definitely excited to hear all those songs because they just have never played them before. And amongst many Kiss fans, it is very, very much a beloved album to us, especially because it's so unappreciated. It makes me, that was one of the last Kiss albums I listened to, and I'm like, you know what, I can easily acknowledge the flaws there, but taking each song individually, or at least most of the songs, the songs themselves are quite strong.
They're good.
It just falls apart as a concept.
Yeah, if you're looking for a
album.
full-fledged, full-scale story, it does fall short in a lot of ways.
But in the individual songs, like the ones you mentioned, that song to me is a 10 out of 10.
It is amazing.
I love that song.
World
Out of Heroes is a brilliant
I love
song.
Under the Rose. Only
great
You
song.
and Under the Rose, those songs back to back.
Right.
But
But just trying to needle the thread through a whole storyline, and I get it. That's where I felt, it was a failure, and that it was a failure as a concept, but song-wise,
great album.
very interesting, very good listen to me, and so I'm personally happy to see that they're doing, that they're acknowledging the Elder and actually doing a whole line of merchandise and kind of a celebration for it. I just kind of wish it wouldn't have been directly following such negativity from the band.
Having said that, though, I will say that when it comes to this kind of stuff, what Gene and Paul say are not affecting my decision at all. And I feel like that'd be the case for most Kiss fans.
Point.
The only people that are buying this stuff is Kiss fans. No rock fan is going to buy this.
Right, this is a diehard.
Yeah, this is for Kiss fans.
Yes.
So I feel like when Kiss says, this album sucks, and we were delusional,
right.
I don't think any diehard Kiss fan is going, oh yeah, maybe I shouldn't buy it. They're thinking, because for me, I'm like, look, I don't care what Gene and Paul think about this album.
Yeah.
I don't care what other Kiss fans. All I care about is what I think. And
exactly.
I listened to this album back in the day, whenever it was, for the first time, just listening it for myself.
Yes.
And I really enjoyed it because I almost would like to imagine, in an alternate universe, a Kiss that puts out every album like The Elder, where everything is crazy and like spectacular. It's an escape album for me.
Yeah.
Where this is an album where if you want to be taken to another world and just talk about,
it's not like a rock and roll party.
It's not like a rock and roll party album.
Yeah,
it's something completely different. And I like hearing songs like Only You and Under the Rose, which really, and The Oath,
the songs
which lyrically
themselves
just go completely outside of. I understand where, yes, in 1981, was this the right album to make? Absolutely not.
Of course not.
But I wasn't around in 81, so I don't care what happened in 81.
Exactly.
I care about what I think in
I just
2021.
care about music.
And to see this merchandise come out, I think is fantastic. I know I went ahead and got the World Without Heroes t-shirt.
I saw that. I was
with
deciding whether I wanted it.
I went ahead and
put the
got
graphic
it.
up in the podcast.
I don't think I've ever seen images of the band from The Elder on a t-shirt like this being sold in this way. So that's what got me excited. So I'm definitely getting that World Without Heroes shirt.
Very cool.
If I had wall space left, which at this point I really just don't.
Get the lithograph.
I would love to get that litho just because it just looks so sweet. Even this t-shirt here with just the album cover on it.
Yes.
The Elder t-shirt is super freaking sweet.
It's nice.
The fact that it's $30 too, I feel like it really isn't that bad because this is one of those things where they would usually take the price and just 45, 50, 55, but I feel like $30 isn't really that too bad. Now, at the time of this recording, the only thing sold out is the limited edition picture disc for $150, which looks pretty sweet.
That shocked me, honestly. I was at work when I saw this because I went on break, whatever. Went on Twitter and saw this, so I immediately clicked on the link to go to the store, and that was the first thing that I saw was the limited edition. It's like some kind of Japanese cover edition, some kind of special edition, cover art thing, which you can, if you scroll up there.
Yep. It's awesome.
And I thought, okay, you know what, that is really cool, because to have the Elder on vinyl picture disc, that's cool, but with different album art, that for me was especially cool. But when I saw the price, I could not believe that it was $150.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe if they did something like...
Is that a lot to you? Is that too much?
$50 is a lot for a vinyl record. Now, it's a lot for any record, period. But the fact that, we'll take the Destroy Your box set that'll be coming out very soon. They at least added some new songs, and that was, $50 or $60.
Mm-hmm.
Just selling the album as it is, as we already know it, with nothing else done. There's no. I'm guessing there's no new artwork. I mean, they've made a picture disc out of it, but there's no new content on there. I feel like 50 is already a lot to ask for.
Okay.
But the 151 really shocked me. I said no one's gonna buy that, and within a few hours, I checked back, and it was sold out. So I guess that shows how much I know, because I was genuinely interested in that, because I was like, that cover art is awesome.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and it's the same for, which I'm sure we're going to segue into the rock and roll over new merchandise thing. I kind of thought the same as like 50 for a record. I don't I don't know where that's coming from. Even all the 2014 reissues were, some of them actually, depending on where you go, were expensive.
Yeah.
But I feel like just the fact that it's a picture disc doesn't necessarily warrant that price when, again, the Destroyer thing, you're paying the same amount, except you're getting actual new material. I feel like, I'll probably still buy a copy. I just feel like that's a little much.
For sure.
But again, shows how much I know, considering that the $150 version of the record
sold out
with no new material on it.
Right, just as is with a new
sold out. And I'm wondering how many copies they made, because I didn't expect.
Let's see.
I thought it would take forever for that to sell out.
Only 500 made.
Well, and here's another thing regarding the price. I don't want to
beat
a dead horse.
I'm gonna do some quick math. 500 times 150.
Oh, it did say 500.
500 were made at 150. That's 75 grand.
Yeah. Well, what really it doesn't really bother me, because if someone's paying money for it and they want it, then there's no issue there at all. It's there if you want it. You don't have to buy it.
Nope.
But the Destroyer box set, which includes, the big box set, you're paying $50 more.
Oh, I didn't.
But you're getting a whole. It's a completely different thing. You're getting a whole bunch of stuff, not just the new music that's most of us have never heard. Considering all the little trinkets they put in there, all the the artwork, posters and all that stuff. That's $200, and that seems well worth it. And then to see just the record with a different cover for $150 is like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of out of line, but again, it just wasn't for me.
Right.
But it was for 500 other people who immediately jumped on the chance, and I'm happy because
that's
funny.
Yeah. On Facebook, there were people who were sharing screenshots of them getting emails saying that there were too many orders put in, and they had to refund the money.
So that blows my mind.
So apparently, even more people were actually looking to get it, and were unfortunately out of luck when they got an email saying, "Hey, sorry, we took too many orders than we could fulfill." So
that checks out to me, because 500. It's obviously it's not a lot, but they probably thought that was being generous. And
wondering,
because that's my thought.
This?
I thought 500 people at 150. So that could take a little bit to sell out. I thought people are gonna be mad. They're gonna post, "Oh, this is way too much." But no, within a few, I've never seen anything like that.
I'm sure somebody complained, but somebody else was perfectly happy.
I was complaining in my head, thinking, "Well, that's just an awful lot." But it just, what, it wasn't for me. And of course the standard picture disc is still there.
Right.
Which is cool, and I'm considering getting it because I'm a fan of the Elder. I want to support, stuff that I like coming out, and I guess, we'll see. But although some of the merch won't be shipped until next year, and then I think the actual records won't be shipped until it says March of next year, and some of the other merch like the coffee mug or something like that looks like it might be by the end of this year, which is cool. So it's not all the same, thing.
I noticed the track listing is the modern track list. So there's two different track listings for The Elder.
Okay.
The original track listing for The Elder actually had, I think, The Oath as the first song. And it had the songs out of order to fit more of an album feel.
Right.
The track listing you see nowadays is the original intended order that actually tells the story. But anyway, I thought that was just interesting to note that they're using the track listing for the actual story.
I'm glad they did that.
And to hear that on picture disc on a record, which I guess I have a record. I have like 2 copies.
So you have at least one.
It's there. So, but yeah, it's as of now the limited edition regular picture disc is still available. The limited edition, the other one, is sold out.
It's already sold out. Yeah, that sold out the day that it was uploaded, which is great. And again, the main reason why I'm excited is because it's just good to see the official, KISS website, everything like that, acknowledging the Elder and actually doing something, because the fan that is kind of what the fans. I can't say a blanket statement of this is what the fans want, this is what they don't want, but generally speaking, the diehard fans who are paying attention to this stuff in the first place are interested in that kind of stuff.
Right.
And so, but again, I was really taken aback. I thought, okay, this is the 40th anniversary of the Elder. Did we get anything like this for the first album, Harder Than Hell, and all those albums in the 70s, they completely missed. But I thought, what about, Rock and Roll Over? Because they're doing Destroyer. Of course, that's the 45th anniversary, not the 40th.
Yeah, they're finally catching up, but
I thought,
still.
I would love to see something do for Rock and Roll Over, and it wasn't a couple days later they dropped, bam, 45th anniversary, Rock and Roll Over, and I thought, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
this is amazing. Except that I may have gotten my hopes up a little bit because of the Destroyer box set. I was hoping they would have done something like that.
I was kind of thinking it would have some extra
Right.
goodies for the Elder and Rock and Roll Over as well.
Yeah, but I mean,
But I shouldn't have expected that because the Destroyer seems to be a once in a lifetime thing right now.
I feel as
I
if
hope that
we're
they'll
gonna-
do something to that level, but we'll see.
Yeah, I feel lucky that we're even getting what they're doing with the Destroyer box set because
Yeah.
I mean it is their most iconic, famous album. It makes sense, so I'm completely stoked on that.
And I think it's smart for them to do what they're doing with the Elder now because there's only going to be one 40th anniversary. And in the last several years, we've been celebrating a lot of 40th anniversaries. I mean, there was a 40th anniversary tour, the 40th anniversary of the first album, the second album, Dressed to Kill, Kiss Alive.
Oh yeah, all of them.
So I mean, we're in the the anniversary stage of Kiss's career where it's like
every year there's a new.
every year, and it's kind of cool because I mean they can do stuff like this and give us fans extra treats and goodies while also making a buck or two on their end. So I think for them to do this for the Elder, I mean it's smart to do it now because I mean we've never experienced anything like this for the Elder where it's just in bulk mass.
Yeah, they actually
merch.
It wasn't just a new vinyl release.
They hardly ever even acknowledge the album at all. So to see an entire section of merch on their website is kind of cool. I hope that when they see things like the Elder picture disc getting sold like that somebody is going, maybe it's not as bad as people say. Maybe Time has been treated this album pretty well.
Yeah.
And maybe they would be more inclined to do something like the Destroyer edition later on, because I feel like when it comes to all those drawings and all those possible demos, I know that a lot of the demos and things, most people have heard more of that stuff than we have.
That's all. Yeah.
But to the masses, I think the masses, hopefully with things like the Destroyer box set, seeing these picture discs getting sold out like this, they're surveying the field and getting ideas for what's working and what's not.
Yeah, and it's a great time to be a Kiss fan. Let me tell you, because this is all happening right, kind of at the tail end of the year, right around the holidays, and it's. I thought the Rock and Roll Over merch, all of it was really cool.
Did anything stand out to you? Did you feel like, because I mean, I definitely already got the Elder T-shirt.
Right.
Is any of this gonna?
I love
definitely get your.
You'll have to put this on the screen later, but the Rock and Roll Over lithograph looks absolutely fantastic.
It looks. So
I want to get
cool.
That is. I mean, we've talked about album covers. That's one of my all-time favorite album covers from Kiss or any band. Period. So the artwork for that is just something I'm already a fan of.
Yeah,
there's
this
a
is
pillow
an 18
there.
by 24, so it's about that size right there.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I don't know if I have room for it or anything like that. I do want to support both of these projects. I just need to figure out what is right for me and getting
When I saw the Elder, I mean, I went ahead and definitely got the T-shirt
because that was new.
I thought about getting the other T-shirt, but then of course the next day they dropped Rock and Roll Over, and I'm thinking, well, now I have to get something from the Rock and Roll Over after just spending $200 on the Destroyer. Talking about Kiss Overload in the beginning. I mean, we're knee deep in it, but they're doing some really cool stuff with Rock and Roll Over. I mean, you have a slip mat. Yeah. They didn't do that for the Elder. Yeah. You have the belt buckle, which is actually already sold out. There's something else that's already sold out. The belt buckle's sold out, but they have pillows, patch sets. They even got personalized record awards. Right. And my favorite, where's it at? Beer pong.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Rock and Roll. I think they have end of the road beer pong too, but that to me is just funny. So they're doing all kinds of stuff. That to me is such a very 70s looking shirt. I saw that.
Oh, the cool. Yellow shirt is great.
The track listing on the back of that one shirt. Yeah, that's super cool. And I think this picture disc is absolutely gorgeous.
It is nice.
Like, I almost paid the $50 for this.
I might because
I almost paid because I want to see that go round and round.
Right, I was gonna say
that's very simply
the picture
put.
disc just makes more sense for the Rock and Roll Over, just because I mean it's almost too on the nose. Is there anything you wish they would have done that they didn't do with the new anniversary merchandise?
Besides having, the Destroyer box set treatment where you're getting extra demos, not really, I'll be honest. Just because when it comes to this stuff, I don't even really know what to expect. You don't really know what to expect or what.
They just drop it.
Until they drop it. And it's not until they drop it can you say, oh, I wish they would have done this. Right. I guess for me, it would actually be, I think that they did great with the Rock and Roll Over, and I get that the Elder is obviously less celebrated than Rock and Roll Over. Right. But I think that I would have probably been more inclined to get an Elder slip mat or the Elder pillow than I would Rock and Roll Over. So I think maybe if they had diversified the merch between Rock and Roll Over and the Elder more evenly, I would be more inclined to buy more of the Elder.
For sure.
But from their perspective, I see why they wouldn't do that, because The Elder obviously is not as near as iconic, and Rock and Roll Over, because it is. I mean, you're right. That is some of the best Kiss artwork there is. It is just completely top of the notch Kiss. So this would definitely sell more merch. So I'm gonna say that what they're doing is just straight ahead perfect. I mean, it's great. I love seeing this stuff. Obviously, they know that fans love it because we're all buying it.
Apparently.
So, and then also, I mean, they even have the holiday Kiss stuff is out now. For the Christmas stuff, they have ornaments, T-shirts. Some T-shirts have the original lineup. Some have the current lineup.
Right.
So I'm loving the KISSmas stuff they have out. This ornament is sweet.
The holiday merch is always entertaining.
My only complaint here is that there's no gift wrapping paper. And in the past, there have been Kiss holiday wrapping paper, which I loved the idea of, but could never actually get it or afford it at that time.
Right.
And of course, now that I'm in a position where I could, they don't have it.
They don't have it.
So that kind of bothers me. I wish they would have the Kiss wrapping paper up this year.
Right.
Maybe it'll happen, maybe not. But so yeah, I mean, we got KISSmas stuff. We have Rock and Roll Over. We have The Elder.
There's a lot kind of happening right at the end of the year here.
I mean, it's perfect business for them.
Oh yeah,
because
absolutely.
it's Christmas time, it's KISSmas time.
It's good to see things really aren't slowing down as the tour is nearing the end kind of, and with COVID and everything, it's good to see stuff still being put out at on the highest level they probably can. I mean, with the box set and all this stuff. But since we mentioned the Destroy Your box set, of course they did just release a new, a few days ago now. They released a demo from the Destroy Your box set that I think was largely unheard. Something I'd never heard before, which was the Gene Simmons demo, Rock and Roll's Royce.
It's been circulated for a while, I think.
Yeah, I assumed it was.
Yeah.
That's probably why they released it
Yeah,
first.
you can find a video of it on YouTube that's been uploaded forever. But it's a name, the Rock and Roll's Royce. Yeah, it's a title that I had heard for years but never actually heard the actual demo, because never really had my hands on too much of those demo tapes and some of those bootleg vinyls, but... or vinyl, excuse me. But I have heard that title floating around for years. But again, to the masses, it's really cool to hear that song. The fact that it was a reworking or an earlier version of Love 'Em Leave 'Em that was recorded evidently in 75, 76 around the Destroy Your era, but wasn't released and finished and actually fulfilled until Rock and Roll Over later on that year. So very similar to what's the Bad Bad Lovin', which was an earlier version of Calling Up Dr. Love.
Yeah.
It's just kind of cool to see how those songs end up getting reworked, because largely lyrically that song was the same.
Right, and that's what interests me really about these demos, and just kind of taking a look behind the curtain and seeing the evolution of songs. And of course, the Detroit Rock City demo was a complete rework. Like the version on the album is a complete readjustment.
Yeah, Ezrin definitely came in and cracked his knuckles and said, "Let's get to work on this."
And that's what's really fascinating, is just to see this, the start and the finish, and that's why I'm particularly excited for the box set. But any general feelings about the song? I mean, to me, it's about as what as much as you would expect from a Gene Simmons demo in the set.
It's honestly a really, really good Gene demo, because honestly, Gene's demos are the ones I'm least interested in, just because they end up being the most artistically the least creative, I guess. Which sounds kind of rude, but again, I don't really look to Gene to be the most prolific lyrically.
Right.
So I think that overall, I mean, it was fine. Yeah. I like it much better than I would, say, Reputation.
That's what I was gonna say from the Love Gun.
From the Love Gun box set. I mean, I definitely, I know that there's another one, Ain't None of Your Business, which I've heard many times before. That's a demo that I have heard demo's gonna be on this box set.
Sure.
Speaking of just Kiss overload, I mean, looking at, since we're at the end of the year, man, let's look at 2021 as a whole.
Yeah, a lot.
And just quickly reflect, because I mean, it's been a great year to be a Kiss fan, despite the fact that COVID still exists, and the tour was still kind of halted at times. The fact that there still are no no expos still. Yeah. Despite all of that, it was a great year to be a Kiss fan.
I agree.
And so I just want to quickly just go through the year, hit some highlights, and starting off with January 1st, which was coming right off of Kiss 2020 Goodbye in the Dubai show.
Yeah, which was very cool.
Now, obviously, we're all still salty that we don't have our merch, but we didn't know that at the time. So when the year kicked off, man, I mean, we were feeling pretty good as Kiss fans, because
it was great.
That was really cool. You Me, my wife, we had a few other folks show up at various points.
Yeah, we made an event.
We made an event out of it. It was New Year's at home, and it was us on the couch watching Kiss 2020 goodbye.
That was
in
perfect
Dubai.
way to start off the year.
What a great way to start the year off! It was so much fun.
Awesome.
And then Soul Station was released.
Right, I got
Paul released Soul Station in March. I think we all expected Soul Station to at least at some point release something.
Sure. Yeah.
So it was great to hear that. I still stand by what I said in the beginning because I've heard that album. I listened to it a lot, and it's not. Soul Station for me was not one of those albums that I just listened to once and go, yeah, it's cool, and put it away. Maybe for some fans it was, where you just give it a listen and you buy it to just support it for whatever.
Yeah.
I listened to it several times, and it gets better and better every time I hear it.
It's good.
And I will say the same thing now that I did in the beginning. I am such a huge fan of those originals that Paul did.
Yeah.
To hear Paul Stanley writing new music that he's passionate about,
exactly,
is fantastic. And those originals that he did are, for me, what stands out. I think some of those covers were there to be more palatable and more accessible for other people who have heard those songs. I haven't. For me, it was just I'm hearing my favorite singer, songwriter, musician write songs. I thought Soul Station was great. So hopefully, when shows return, they'll play shows.
Yeah.
When shows come back even bigger, maybe
I'd love...
maybe post end of the road tour, Paul will be a little more active with Soul Station and playing, because that is a show I could see us going to.
I would
came
love to get
anywhere, front row
if
at a
came
Soul
anywhere
Station
near,
show.
we'd be going. I'd probably have almost as good of a time as at a Kiss show, just seeing Paul enjoying himself.
Well, and that's music that we're not really akin to,
no,
and so having Paul Stanley as that reference point, having Paul as that reference point, it makes it new and fresh, but also still familiar.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that'd be exciting. So I don't know. Have you heard Soul Station?
Yeah, I heard it, and I suppose I might be one of those people who, if I bought it, I might keep it for the collection. But
buy it.
I'm certainly glad to hear it, and I do agree about the original songs. That is.
I'm hoping that the next album that Soul Station does is flip flop from this one. This one has more covers and some originals. I hope the next one is most originals, maybe a few covers, if not all originals.
I feel like all originals.
I'm hoping for it. I just really like hearing those songs. Save Me From You, IOI. Just really great stuff. So guess what happened in the Kiss world on May 16th?
I can't remember that far back.
Kiss Army Things debuted on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Back in which month?
May. So, May 16th of 2021.
Farther than
this podcast debuted on YouTube.
Yeah.
So, how about that?
Huge for the Kiss, Army.
Oh, yeah, no, right? No.
Everyone.
But anyway, hey, if anybody out there has been listening and been watching since day one, episode 1, thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
We're not going anywhere. We're glad you're here. If you're new, hey, like and subscribe, because, this is where it's at right now. We're just having fun talking about Kiss, celebrating Kiss. Absolutely. The thing that we had a lot of fun celebrating was the documentary, the 2-part, 4-hour documentary.
I keep forgetting that all of this happened in the same year.
And
that's strange.
And that's kind of why I'm doing this, because I really do feel like, we look back at our lives and we talk about things like, the pay-per-views and like for East Rutherford and for the Alive 4, the various tours, all these things are in our memories. Yeah. But the things that happen in the present sort of just kind of end up.
Every day.
You don't retain it as much.
Right.
And I feel like with 2021, it's like so much has happened that if we don't stop and appreciate this, it's really easy to think that, oh man, life is boring as a Kiss fan. If you don't stop and smell the roses at least a little bit.
Right. Well, it still feels like they're doing more than any other band.
They're doing so much.
It feels like it, at least. I don't know if that's, out of touch to say, but it just seems like they're giving us so much. It's almost overwhelming.
I almost wouldn't even know, because I'm so focused on Kiss. I don't even know what other bands are doing. I'm focused on Kiss, because I have a great time. But so you actually watched the documentary after, because again, that was an event where we all got together.
Exactly.
We watched it. It was a sit-down thing, eat your popcorn, get all cozy. But now you actually went back and watched it again after the fact.
Well, yeah, I bought it, yeah.
Okay.
Digitally.
Great.
Bought it.
Because, again, you watch it once and, it happened. It's not until you watch, kind of like an album, where you listen to an album once, okay, great, but it's not until the second, the third, the fourth listen.
Right.
It really marinates. So,
absolutely.
Do you feel like the documentary was even better the second time around? Was there anything that you noticed that you didn't notice or appreciated, or
anything like that? It's much more enjoyable for me sitting down and watching it the second or third time. I don't know how many times I've seen it now, two or three times, but it's way more enjoyable to watch it now, because when we did sit down and watch it, I almost feel like I had to be hypercritical and focused on every tiny detail of it, whereas now I just like to sit back and just look at it as a celebration of everything that happened, and I'm not as like, ooh, did you see that little thing there? And I can just sit down.
Important.
I can just sit down and enjoy it.
That's important
for what it is, and so because at first I feel like I did maybe get a little too caught up in, I guess, some of the minutia of information,
some of the editing and
the editing actually still bothers me a little bit.
Some of the me too. But
the way it was put together was strange at some points, as far as what they showed, and it was weird.
Yeah.
But overall, it's very nice. I enjoy watching it
for sure. And again, it's really important, because you watch something and then, or you buy something, or you listen to something and then you just put it on the shelf, and then you never always revisit something.
It's very important.
Even if you don't, especially if you don't like something.
I was
music and albums that you don't think you're gonna like, or you don't like the first time.
Some of the music that ended up being some of my favorite music I still listen to today, I did not like it
when you first heard it.
Some of the stuff I listen to now, the first time I heard it, I hated it.
Yeah, that's an issue with today, when things are so boom, 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 fast, gimme.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next thing.
Exactly.
If you don't stop and smell the roses, as it were, you kind of...
You might miss a lot.
You won't appreciate things either.
Yeah, you might miss a lot.
So maybe I would benefit from going back and watching the documentary, because I think I might have caught a rerun of it after the fact.
Right.
And was just kind of like, I sat in on something and then left before it finished or whatever it was. But yeah, maybe I would benefit from watching it again, because just to celebrate the entirety of history. But something else that I thought was really cool about 2021 was the fact that, at least in some way, shape, or form, Kiss shows happened.
Yes, that's very true.
And despite the fact that there were postponements and reschedules, cancellations, through all of that, Kiss is still trying their best to get out there in front of people.
Yes.
And fortunately for us, we were there October 16th at Tinley Park.
And it's still a successful tour for what it is.
Yeah, it's very successful.
It's doing pretty well.
And you still have people like the friends that we were with who are seeing Kiss for the first time.
Yeah.
Our sisters, we brought them to a show on this tour for the first time.
Yeah, that's the best part.
So, obviously the End of the Road tour is still something to celebrate, being able to see Kiss in 2019, 2020, and 2021, despite the pandemic, is great. So, even though Gene and Paul themselves contracted COVID, various things have happened, but they're still trying to perform shows, and so it's really cool to see.
Still out there.
Obviously, Kiss performing shows. Now, Doc McGee did say that Kiss will probably wrap up in late 2022.
Right.
Paul's saying maybe early 2023. We'll see. So
so
the end is near. We've known this.
Yeah.
We've known this. The end was supposed to have already happened.
Yes, that's true.
But just what a great time to be a Kiss fan. We have all these anniversaries with Rock and Roll Over.
Yeah.
And the Elder, Ace has announced cassette box sets and is doing various things.
Very
Ace
cool.
and Alice Cooper were on tour.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. We get Kiss touring in the States. Ace and Alice went out and played a bunch of shows. Unfortunately, we couldn't attend them, but I've heard mostly positive things.
Yeah, so the Indianapolis show was right around the time Slipknot was coming around, and I chose Slipknot over Ace. Just because,
yeah.
Slipknot's my band too, and
we've seen Ace live technically.
Technically, we've seen Ace live, but I can't miss and I'll never miss another Slipknot show.
I don't blame you.
So with all these anniversaries and things, it's really cool to see the fact that the Kiss Cruise happened. In 2020 it was canceled because of everything.
Yeah.
So Kiss Cruise 10 did sail. They played She's So European, We Are One, Take It Off, and All Night, which are songs that I don't even think... See, I know Take It Off had been played live, but We Are One had never been played live.
Right. Oh, yeah, that was big.
She's So European, they did that one lip-sync performance, but that's a rare one, man. Like, those were just... It was so cool to see those songs being played.
That's what... That's, for those of us not on the cruise, that's the stuff that we're waiting for. Is what did they play? Oh, they played this, they played that. So it's cool to see that they're still bringing out a few of those songs that really grab you.
I never would have ever expected All Night. That was
I would have
one.
never expected We Are One. Those two, especially.
The only reason why I would have expected We Are One is because it was the Psycho Circus Kiss cruise. But the fact that
Right.
they never played it live made it so much more special. And Gene, his vocals were the best that they had ever been. I mean, it was...
Wow. On the cruise or on the song?
On the cruise.
Oh, okay, wow.
On the cruise. Him singing it was just fan-freaking-tastic. I thought Paul knocked it out of the park on Take It Off, even though it may or may not have been taped. I don't know. Doesn't matter. Paul did great. So, as far as the anniversaries go, I mean, is there anything that you're excited to see? Like what if they were to do a next anniversary? I mean, we don't know. I mean, you have to think about the calendar of Kiss releases, but what's an album? I'm assuming they're going to keep doing this with all the albums. So, what's an album that you are excited to see get the anniversary treatment, even if it isn't on the level of the box set?
Right.
Is there an album?
I'll take whatever I can get because whether it's the Elder or Rock and Roll Over, which are two completely different things. If they're doing anything like that, I'm most definitely interested.
Yeah.
Seeing certain pieces of merchandise specifically for this. I'll literally but specifically there's something about Hotter Than Hell that I love. I love the artwork of the album, and to see something done with that.
Okay.
Like they did with the Rock and Roll Over lithograph on the website. Maybe do something with the very specific whatever that art style is. It's Japanese inspired. So I guess for me, if I had to choose one, it would be something like Hotter Than Hell. However, and I know it's not, I was going to say Revenge, but that, what anniversary? That was 1990s.
I was just about to answer that, and guess what? I think if I were to answer that question, for me, it would be Revenge.
Yes.
Because Revenge, obviously, is our favorite Kiss album.
Correct.
Aesthetically, it's, fantastic.
Yes, exactly.
But guess what? 2022 is the 30th anniversary.
Oh, boy.
92 to 2022.
I really
30.
If they're doing anything with Revenge, I'll buy into half.
I was going to say, I mean, if they did a vinyl release for that, I mean, 150 would be the bottom end for that vinyl.
Yeah.
But I mean, I would love to see a Revenge treatment because
that would be one where I would need, or I would be demanding a.
It would be
the Destroyer treatment for that. I know it's not the same thing. It's not.
There is a single. There is a song out there that Kiss fans had never heard that was supposed to be on that album. That one could be on that. I'm not sure who.
Well, I hope they do. I hope they do anything more than what they're doing with the Elder, which I understand. I don't expect.
Oh, right. As far as just merchandise, yeah. I mean,
and they don't have to go as far as what they're doing with Destroyer.
You just want more. I want more material. At the end of the day, the artwork is cool and the album cover stuff is great.
But it's the song.
I just want the music.
Here's an idea. Take what they're doing with the Destroyer box set. Exclude the box set itself. With the vinyl release, with the with the vinyl release, you're getting the newly remastered whatever classic album that you've heard. But there's all they have to do is include it's easier said than done, but just include that second disc with 4 to 8 demos, anything on it. That to me is very doable for something like Revenge. So not to do this huge box set sort of thing, but do a 2-disc vinyl release of the album and your songs that you've never heard. Or do that with any album, like what I wish they probably would have done with the Elder or Rock and Roll Over, but do a 2 CD, half and half, remaster this. Here's a few new songs. That would be it for me.
That'd be it too.
I'd pay a good amount for anything extra of the Revenge era that we have not heard, even if it's live stuff from really small club shows. It doesn't have to be new material.
There's bootlegs and stuff.
Yes, there's plenty you could do with it, and I think Revenge deserves that treatment.
Yeah,
I know Universal probably won't see it that way because Destroyer is the one album they would have done it with when they did.
Right.
So I feel like that might be the only thing.
No,
but,
here's something cool too. One thing I did miss in this whole recap of 2021 that was pretty big was Off the Soundboard that was released in June.
Oh, which is super cool, and that's
so talking about Revenge. Revenge era recordings and live stuff that could come out. I want to see if Revenge doesn't get the Destroyer box set treatment. I want it to get the Off the Soundboard treatment.
I didn't even consider that.
Something from that tour. Because there are several tours where they could seriously do a really good Off the Soundboard, Hot the Shade, Animalize.
True.
I'm excited to hear this live CD of the they got the Destroyer box set, is having the show from Paris.
Yeah, it's very
live
cool.
stuff. Anything live Kiss, I think, is what fans ultimately want.
Yeah.
There's studio Kiss is fine and great, but there's a whole other aspect when it's live.
Right.
And it's not just the look and the show; it's the music and the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those songs come to life when played live more than the studio.
Yeah.
Kiss live is a whole different beast musically than they are musically in the studio. And Revenge, I mean, that was the band at their best.
Right. Well,
So,
and you could argue they might avoid that because of a Live 3 being right there,
True.
But they could
Very
just go
possible.
back a couple of years. I mean, if they did, Hot in the Shade.
Hot in the Shade,
that
Animalize.
would be, yes. Yeah, there's some awesome, playing the best songs, some of the best set lists they've ever had.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm assuming they're going to do another, Off the Soundboard release next year, but we don't know. They haven't announced a schedule because it's supposed to be a series.
I figured they would have a schedule outlined, kind of like Marvel has their outlined, their phase
Right.
1, 2, 3, and 4 all outlined. I figured that.
So it could be.
So
until,
maybe there is some sort of behind closed doors. They have an outline of what they're going to do. I'm hoping it's not too
I hope
far off.
2022 they give us something like.
I hope it's
that.
a 1 year cycle because if next summer they have something else coming, I mean they're going to start advertising that in the next 6 months, and that's fuck.
And we'll be pre-ordering it because
And it will be in my cart.
Yeah.
My wallet will be empty.
Yeah.
But until then, it's been a lot of fun just recapping 2021.
Yeah, it's been a great year to be a Kiss fan.
Great year to be a Kiss fan.
Just a music fan in general. There's so many really good albums that are completely different from Kiss that have been released. It's despite all of the other things happening in the world, entertainment wise, it's been what's getting me through it. A lot of other people, and Kiss has been a huge part of that.
Absolutely.
So I'm happy to support that. You know what I'm saying. So when we talk about, this might be a little expensive, but I still buy it. That's where that's coming from. I want to support this entertainment.
Yeah, no, I mean
that's
honestly,
important.
Yeah, when you pay for it, that's how they know. Okay, they want more, or we're doing something right. So
Yeah, I'll buy the vinyl.
But
And I'll enjoy it.
what a great time. Yeah, it's an awesome time to be a Kiss fan. So let us know in the comments whether you're an old fan or a new fan, because hopefully I feel like we have a pretty even mix of where it seems to be, lots of fans like us that are younger.
Right.
There's fans that are a little older than us who've been fans for longer.
Just super
Have a
cool.
pretty balanced audience. So let us know where you fall. What age were you when you got into Kiss? How have you felt 21 has been? What's some of the highlights for you? Was there something that you got that you want to share with us? I know I have a few things I want to share. For some reason, I've been getting a lot of video game related items this year. I'm not sure what happened there, but of course, as a kid, we played that Kiss pinball game
For the PlayStation.
on the PlayStation 1.
One of the first games I think we ever saw, period, growing up in the late 90s or early 2000s. With the
Yeah,
PlayStation.
this is Dad's copy from their original PS1. But I ended up this year getting, I have the computer PC version,
Right.
dual disc.
This pinball, which I didn't know existed until you bought that. I didn't think they would have done a PC edition of the pinball.
Yeah,
game.
and what's funny is I actually think that it was originally released on the PC
Oh wow.
and then was only just ported to the PS1.
Kind of makes
I
sense.
could have that backwards, but
does make
I'm
sense.
inclined to think that it was a PC game first, and then it was just ported to PS1 for home console. But on top of that, I even got the box set, the sealed box set,
Which I also
PC
didn't
version.
know
I'm sorry, I should
existed.
probably be holding these up to the actual camera instead of just showing you, since you're just right here with me. But nope, that one is the correct one. So yeah, so that's the PC copy of Kiss Pinball, which I'm sure a lot of folks might have. But then the sealed box set, which I thought was really cool. I didn't realize they did a package this in depth, because I mean the only thing inside there is probably this.
And where were these being sold, I wonder? Are these in Walmarts? I mean, are these in game stores?
It's a good question.
It's not an
90s was
in-depth game. I mean, it's obviously
No, it was a very underdeveloped game as far as there being no Kiss songs. There's only two. There's only two skins.
right.
There's no real story involved. There's no.
It's just pinball.
It really does feel like just walking up to a pinball machine and insert your coin, you play and leave, which is what pinball is. But I feel like with home entertainment,
very
you
simplistic.
could this game could have been a whole lot more.
I feel like it was probably just a sort of a marketing thing for something, and the reunion tour, Psycho Circus.
I'm sure somebody approached them with an idea and they said, "Hey, if you want, we can do a Kiss pinball game." And they said, "Yeah, sure, here."
Yeah, like you've never done something for a home console. It's the late '90s. You better get with it.
Yeah.
And they did it, and I have no idea.
And they did it, and
no idea.
A lot of fans are, don't like it, which I get it because it is.
It's cheap.
But for us, it has a place in our our memories because this and Mortal Kombat 4 were the first video games we ever saw, played, understood.
The PS1, exactly.
And so to get a rare Canadian gatefold copy is pretty cool too. Again, didn't know any of this stuff existed, but this has also been sealed, so I can't open it. But there's a Canadian gatefold version that I found.
It's super interesting because in my mind, it was such a small release, but they really put a lot into it. It seems like.
Yeah, no, there was like several different versions made, even though the game itself was kind of lacking, if you will. Yeah. And then these I thought were kind of cool too. So these are skins for Xbox 360. Xbox 360 skins, so you could put these on the front and the back and the side of your
a phenomenon that I must have missed
of your Xbox 360.
I didn't know anyone did that with
well, you know how
maybe that was a niche thing that people did with Xboxes, but I thought
do you remember like in the early 2010s when KISS was doing I mean everybody had like laptop skins where you put a sticker on the back of your laptop. This is just like that. There's even KISS Rock Band drum skins.
Right.
It just seemed like graphic skins were the thing. You could do that with your Wii guitars.
Modifying
and so it seemed like stuff. Yeah, so you could, if you were a KISS fan, wrap your Xbox 360 in KISS logos and KISS graphics. And I thought that it wasn't official. I bought it.
That's what I was going to
I
ask.
bought it just because. I mean, yes, it was KISS, but it was Xbox 360. I'm a PlayStation guy,
right.
But I don't care. I mean, to see this was so unique, and I was like, I've never seen that before.
Right.
Never thought it would even be done. Didn't think it was official. Turns out it is. It's from Zing Revolution, and it came out in 2013. So they are official KISS merchandise.
I was going to ask if it was official. That's
I bought it not caring if it was. I was like, I just want it just because it's KISS graphic skins for an Xbox 360. So that's kind of where I got it from. But no, it actually is legit merch from the band.
Yeah,
okay, so this is for. Oh goodness gracious! This actually just came in the other day. So this is
another KISS pinball.
This is a magazine. A CD Experts gaming magazine, which has
that's super
a
cool.
demo
Excellent.
for KISS Pinball. It's a KISS demo.
Oh yeah, because demos used to be huge.
Yeah, demos used to be a thing where you could demo the disc and then it would like give you a sample of the game before the game was actually completed.
Say what you want about KISS Pinball, but the artwork is awesome.
The artwork is awesome, and the length that they went for the merchandise, like the way they marketed this and the way they actually packaged it and distributed it far exceeds the content of the game as a whole.
And there's
that's why I'm buying it, not because the game is the best game ever, but because they went so hard at it. And I remember when the game came out, I didn't realize I was only like 2 or 3, so I didn't realize that they did this much with it. But
this is just an interesting piece of history in general. It's got stuff for like the GameCube. They're advertising stuff for PS2. There's like a Dragon Ball Z thing on here. That you had showed me before. That's pretty cool.
It just came in the mail, like literally Friday.
And it came with a PC demo.
And
this is a weird point in time, but to see that KISS is totally trying to take advantage of this, whatever market this is, that's super interesting.
That's what I respected about KISS in the late '90s is that KISS. If KISS
they didn't skip a beat.
If KISS was doing what they were doing in the late '90s now,
oh my god,
KISS would be a whole different beast because they were doing video games. There was the KISS Immortals DVD, which was like 3D CG animated TV show that was online before the internet and streaming services are what they are today.
Right.
And that is a forgotten chapter in KISS in history.
Pretty much.
Was the things like KISS Pinball. Yeah. They did the KISS Psycho Circus Nightmare Child PC game. Or it was PC cool. And it was for, I think it was the Sega Dreamcast. But it seems like KISS was really aiming for the gamers and the sci-fi crowd and all that, which was a perfect market for them. But it failed, it seems, because things like KISS Pinball and
they just didn't take it far enough. It kind of seemed like a one-off thing. It wasn't too in depth. However, this the Psycho Circus PC game is just the artwork and all that stuff. I feel like that could do really well today. I don't think it would.
Yes.
Not commercially. I mean,
I would love to play a KISS video game on the PS4. VR. I mean,
also anything like that.
Imagine if there was a 3D CG animated TV show on streaming services now.
Right.
Okay, so that's enough of stuff from our era.
Yeah.
For the 70s KISS fans, I actually was able to pick up this year an official KISS magazine from 1978 of the KISS Meets the Phantom, which I thought was super, super cool because it's stuff like this that you really don't think you're going to have a chance at collecting, especially if you're a young fan like us. Most of the stuff in the 70s has already been collected, which I'm fine with. As long as it's being preserved, I'm fine.
Yeah.
But most fans already have the stuff from the 70s in their collection, and so I feel like
that's special.
whenever I get an item like this, I'm always, it always feels a little bit more special. And I'm a huge fan. I definitely did not pay $2.50 for this.
Yeah.
Back in the day, this definitely cost a lot more, but I had a lot of fun just flipping through this. I'm not going to take it out and flip through it now. I don't want to risk. But you better believe I was sitting in here with the lamp on and just flipping through this magazine. Because I really do love official KISS magazines. I've collected. I know folks like to buy any magazine with KISS's face on it, but I just can't afford that. So I usually stick to the official KISS magazines,
right.
And was able to snag a couple this year as well. One from the Psycho Circus era, Psycho Circus Tour magazine, which is pretty sweet. I love all things Psycho Circus. That's when you and I dropped in on the band in the beginning. That was our first KISS album, and I even found this one, which I never knew. This one I knew existed. This one I did not know existed. The Fall 05 issue, which actually features the current lineup.
Right.
I'm assuming
like
right
Rock
off
the
the heels
Nation.
off Rock the Nation.
Yeah.
So this is one that I've seen, just never actually been able to purchase until now. This one I never even knew existed. So that's totally cool.
Very cool.
And if I was to show just one more thing, just because I'm not going to show everything I bought in 2021, that would be ridiculous. I mean, even the AG Riffmaster and the Gene Simmons Axe guitar controller.
Yeah.
I bought those this year too. So it's been a crazy year for collecting, but so this is Eric Singer's VHS for All Access to Drumming. I'm a huge Eric Singer fan. He's taught me pretty much everything I know on the drums, or at least I would say the most out of any drummer I love.
Yeah.
Eric's been my guy, and so one of the first things in my collection was the autographed DVD of All Access to Drumming, which taught me, again, everything I know. So
very cool.
To have a VHS copy that is also autographed is super cool. So that's one of the latest additions to my collection that I'm happy to have because I love Eric Singer.
Yeah.
And so what a time to be a KISS fan. Again, we'll end it there.
Yeah, it's a dull moment. Really.
Definitely, if you're watching and listening, leave some comments on some of the things that you might have gotten this year.
Yeah, did you see KISS live? Did you see Ace? Anything like that? Did you
get
John 5's new album with Peter Criss on it?
Basically, what's your 2021 been like as a KISS fan? We've just went through our 2021 as a KISS fan. We've got 1 month left, but tell us what your 2021 has been like as a KISS fan. Drop some comments, like and subscribe. Thank you guys so much. Anything you want to end with? As we wrap up,
not really.
I think we laid it all out there, which is, it's been great. So, either our next episode will be the Destroyer box set, or the one before this will be the Destroyer box set. We're not really sure how we're going to release them because
depending on when
we're just going to wait until the Destroyer box set shows up. I mean, it'll ship on the week of the 19th, but you don't know when it's going to show up. So, but you better believe as soon as that thing, he's got
our hands on it.
He's got the vinyl box set. I've got the CD box set.
Right.
We're going to bring both here. We're going to look at everything and just get our thoughts. So who knows whether that'll be episode 14 or episode 15 or what. We said 14 in the beginning of this episode, so if we're right, we're right. If not, whatever.
You'll know what happened.
Yeah, I was about to say, we're just out here having fun, being KISS fans. Hopefully you guys are too. So again, thanks for joining us on episode whatever of the KISS Army Things. I'm Xander.
And I'm Jed.
Thank you guys.